90 days, we took a window remodeling company from $0 in Meta ad spend to $150,000 in revenue directly from Meta ads every single month. But I'll be honest, performance in that first month or two was rough. The lead volume was low and the leads that we were getting were expensive. So I want to get into everything because the home improvement industry has a different type of ad creative and landing page and even a different way of tracking conversions than what's used in a lot of other industries. And then if you look at the most common ad creative in the home improvement industry, it usually falls into one of two buckets, which each have their own drawbacks. There's the creative, which is run by a lot of aggregators, which is not branded at all. It uses stock videos, stock photos. It's very aggressive with the offers that it includes, sometimes offers that the company isn't even running, who's going to buy the lead. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there's these overly branded ads that have giant logos, too many brand colors. Maybe they tell a 10-minute story about a customer with no call to action. And it almost seems like these ads are made for people inside of the company, but not really made to go out and get prospects. And my approach was to bring those two things together. So to have the aggressive offer front and center, and to have the ad copy around scarcity and urgency, but also to have human beings and a bit of authenticity and branding sprinkled into the campaign as well. So I'm going to break down all elements of the campaign, starting with the ad creative, moving into the landing page, and then getting into the way that we handle our offline conversion tracking. So to start off, the ad creative. This company didn't have Meta as an existing part of its media mix, and so there wasn't a huge library of video assets to work with. And so we started with 10 static ads, and 5 of them were proven formats that I'd seen perform well for other companies, and then 5 of them were completely brand new concept. And this is right around the time when the performance was weak, because while I was using very similar static ad templates that I was seeing perform very well in other accounts, spending $10,000 a month and generating a profit, there were no video ads to support these statics. And so I looked at the static ads and noticed that there was one that was just a selfie of the founder with a long form caption talking about why they started the company, how their sales process is different, why it's not a pushy sales process, talked a little bit about the product, and then it closed by talking about how they're there for their customers even after the installation, and they'll always pick up the phone if they have any questions. And that was the ad that was outperforming all the other ads that I'd previously seen do really well. And I think that this ad performed so well and was able to beat those proven winners because after scrolling on your timeline and seeing 10 before and after ads that all have a 0% interest offer and you don't know who any of those companies are, there's just something refreshing about being able to see the face of the person who owns the company and a caption explaining a little bit about who they are and what they stand for. And so I basically just took that caption and turned it into a video script. And I asked the founder if they could record a video of themselves reading the script. And so we launched that ad and it did super well. Our volume problem was gone and leads were coming in and the CPL was starting to come down. And so we worked on a few more scripts that the founder led. I read some scripts myself and we got about 10 to 15 videos in the account to support some of those winning static ads. And at this point, the ad creative in the account was doing very well. And so we turned our attention to the landing page. So before going into the landing page that we used or some of the tweaks that we made to the landing page to make it convert better over time, I want to talk about a couple of mistakes that we made sure to avoid right from the very beginning. And the first one is using the Meta Instant Forms. I've done a lot of testing on the Meta Instant Forms, and every single time you can get cheaper leads with an instant form than you can by sending traffic to a website, but your cost per sale will be higher with the instant form than it is without it. And the reason is that these forms generate super low quality leads that just do not turn into appointments and do not turn into sales. And so it's tempting to use them early on when you're not getting that many leads and it can feel like a quick win. But at the end of the day, it's the wrong customer and it's sending the wrong signal to Meta about the type of person that you want as a lead. And then the other thing that we made sure to do was that we didn't send the traffic to the primary website. I've never seen an A/B test where sending traffic to the primary website is going to outperform a dedicated landing page that was built for the pure purpose of converting ads traffic. Okay, so we built out a separate landing page for the campaign, and the first landing page that we used was extremely bare bones. It was basically a logo, the offer that we were running in our ads, and then a form. And the form was really easy to fill out and convert on. And looking at the data, we could see that most people didn't come to the website and convert on their first trip. With that information in mind, our website wasn't really providing any additional value on that first visit. It was taking 3, 4, 5 visits to get people to submit a contact form, but maybe that's because they were seeing additional ads. There wasn't really anything to be gained from the website itself. And so we included way more photos on our website. We included photos of the product, past jobs. We included photos that customers had posted to Google Business Profile themselves so that our testimonials had more authority. And we really tried to build a visual first page that would help move people through the sales funnel rather than just collect their contact information. And then in addition to making the landing page more visual first, we noticed that roughly 30% of the people who filled out one of our online web forms never answered the phone. So only 7 out of every 10 leads we would get would even have a conversation with us about, potentially coming out for an appointment. And so what we did was we designed the landing page to prioritize inbound phone calls over form fills. So at the very top of the page, we included the phone number and we added a little flashing light that would flash over the phone number at the top. And then we added the phone number throughout the page in places where it might make sense to call. And that might sound obvious, but there's a lot of lead gen campaigns that only operate on form fills and don't do any phone calls at all. So prioritizing them made a big difference. And that was pretty much the approach we took to the creative side of the campaign. The other thing that we did that really helped our results over time was that we uploaded our offline conversion data to Meta. So what this means is if Meta gave us 100 leads, we reported back to the ads platform which 25 turned into appointments and which 3 or 4 turned into sales. So then over time, it was able to take all the billions of signals that it has on what these people are doing online and bring us back more people like those 3 or 4 that converted into sales, or at least more like the 25 who converted into appointments. And not a lot of advertisers do this. And so the risk is that they get 75 leads out of 100 every single month that aren't that qualified and likely are not going to turn into customers. Because one thing I've noticed with home improvement campaigns and Meta ads leads is that you get people from manufactured or mobile homes, you get people from out of area, you get people who just can't afford the product, you get people who are maybe just looking but they're not planning to do anything for a year. You know what's crazy? You sometimes get people that don't even own their home, they're renting a duplex and they are reaching out about a bathroom remodel. It's absolutely crazy. And so by telling Meta what your ideal customer looks like, your targeting improves tenfold and the ROI is huge. And so to summarize, I was lucky enough to work at a company that generated thousands of leads per month. And I was able to learn that even if you can get a lot of low quality leads, it hardly ever leads to a positive ROI. And so at every stage of our funnel, from the ad creative to the landing page, to the information that we share back with the ads platform itself, we dedicated this campaign to generating high quality leads that are actually going to turn into sales. So if after watching this video, you think you'd be interested in working with Alloy Media, the first step is to go to our website, fill out the form, and check if the zip codes or the markets that you operate in are still available.